If you're here, you're probably interested in becoming a peer navigator, and Jaime and I are going to share a bit about our experiences as peer navigators. So just a couple of introductions before we get started. And also, we will be leaving a sign-in sheet in the chat, so make sure you sign in. And Jaime, if you want to introduce yourself first.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for your interest in the Peer Navigator program. My name is Jaime Vasquez. I am a CS major, an international student at SMC. Yeah, my area of interest is STEM. And little fun fact about me, I love soccer, so I was part of the SMC soccer team.
All right, and my name is Catalina Fuentes, and my major is chemical engineering, also a STEM student. And a fun fact about me is that when I was interviewing to become a peer navigator, my cat crashed the interview and she just started like sniffing at me. So it was awkward, but it was sure memorable.
I'm sure that was key for your interview.
Absolutely, yes.
So yeah, you might be wondering a little bit about what is the Peer Navigator program. And I like this concept of saying that we are students helping other students. So yeah, the program is designed for us to help first-year students in their transition through Santa Monica College. We help them navigate and not only support them, but also make them feel part of what is the SMC community. And ensure that they achieve their success at the college. So we do this through mentoring, through constant phone calls and emails. We also organize different workshops and social events. And the idea is also to help you guys build these relationships and enhance your experience through the college.
All right, so who are peer navigators? Well, peer navigators are mentors, they're models, allies, and advocates for first-year students. So basically what we do is we listen to what students are going through in their first year, which is one of the most challenging times during your college days. And we share our stories and we provide guidance and resources and help them find the information that they wouldn't otherwise know how to find. So we are people who are just invested in making SMC a more welcoming community for first-year students. And besides that, we have heard some things that some of our mentees feel like we're just like the older sibling that they wish they had when they started college.
Absolutely.
So basically, if you want to be a peer navigator, you're going to be the person that you wish you had when you were in your first year of college.
So now let's go a little bit about through the job description, what are some of our duties, as well as some of the eligibility points that you must make sure to have for this position. So one thing about the peer navigators that I like the most is that every peer navigator actually does different things. For example, last semester, I was part of the newsletter team. So along with this team, I researched, organized, and designed the newsletter that we monthly deliver to students and also SMC staff. Also, for example, we design and host different workshops and presentations such as this one. And Carolina, if you would like to go through other duties.
Of course. And one thing I would do want to mention is the most important part of this job, which is being a mentor to first-year students. So basically, this is maintaining communication in a monthly basis with first-year students. You get a list of students which you actively try to communicate with to make sure how they're doing throughout the semester. And also, a necessary skill is just being creative and being willing to be open-minded and sharing your story. You know, I think a lot of our experiences is based on trying to build a relationship, and just you have to get creative with that. So it's a pretty interesting experience. And now talking about eligibility. So one thing that we do require is that you have been enrolled in at least 2 semesters and completed 12 units each semester. So if you are a full-time student for 2 semesters, you're good to go. And
Yeah, also, oh yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, also, you must make sure to have a minimum of 2.5 GPA cumulative, and you also need to be authorized to work in the US.
All right. So being on.
So we are looking actually to hire 50 peer navigators for the 2022-2023 academic year. This is a paid position, and the pay rate for the peer navigator program is $50 per hour, and you're up to work 10 hours per week. This is year round. I would like also to stress one thing for international students. Have in mind that you are also eligible for this position.
Yes, and if you're wondering whether you're eligible or not, you can contact us just to check and learn more about the process if you're an international student. All right, so now we're going to move on to a couple of questions, which one of our counselors will lead.
So yeah, thank you, Catalina. So questions for you too, right, Catalina and Jaime, and Jaime, why don't you go first and Catalina can follow. But my question to you is, what made you want to join the Peer Navigators?
Oh yeah, from my experience, I guess it was a lot of empathy because, you know, I am an international student. And when I was a first year student, when I first arrived to SMC, I find out a lot of these situations that you might face when you are a first year student. And I have the support from my sister, which was amazing for me. So that empathy was what led me kind of see the importance of having someone that actually understands the situations that you might be going through. And when I find out this opportunity of actually being a peer navigator and help other students, I totally get into it.
Cool, thank you, Catalina.
Yes, I agree with what Jaime said. Empathy is a big part of it, but I think personally, I didn't have like anyone. I'm the first in my family to go to college in the US. So I personally don't know much about how the system works. So when I had the opportunity to get a job where I could share those experiences with someone else, especially a lot of students are first generation, I think that was a big motivation for me, just being there in a way that I wish I had someone back when I was starting at SMC.
Yeah, great, thank you. So the next question is, what is one experience that stood out for you working in the Peer Navigator program?
Well, for me, last semester, I was part of this workshop called Peer Navigator First Gen Extravaganza. And I actually had the opportunity to talk with a lot of students. I heard more about their experiences on how they found a community and how valuable our support as Peer Navigator was, you know, when we were having issues trying to actually, yeah, be fit in a college and feel part of a community. So I realized how these small contributions of, you know, just talking with the students or help them out through, you know, sharing different resources that SMC has for them really had an impact in the students. And at the end, that is our goal, you know, to help the students achieve their success at the college.
Well, personally, a really significant experience I've had so far was that I had one mentee who had a very difficult time enrolling in classes because she wasn't aware of how everything worked. So knowing that I was able to guide her and answer all of her questions, which can be really scary, especially after you see all the classes are starting to close and all that. So I helped her figure out that she was still on time to enrolling her classes for next semester and telling her that there were ways to get around closed classes. I think that was pretty significant to me, just knowing that I had an impact in helping someone else. Staying for another semester is something that was really significant to me.
Great, thank you. So another question, as peer navigators, what does a day-to-day look like for you when you are on the job?
Well, this is one of the things that I like most about this position. Peer Navigator is a program that is actually designed to be compatible with you being a student. You know, this job gives you this flexibility to organize your schedule and manage your time. Think about your classes, your duties that you have also as a student. So for me, I choose my schedule to actually be in the morning so I can finish everything and then go to my classes. And also one thing that I like is that every day is different for a peer navigator. You know, sometimes you need to research things that you will share with your students. Other times you are having phone calls and talking with your students. Other day, for example, you might be in a meeting with your team, organizing the newsletter or the Discord that we have. There are a lot of things that you can do as a peer navigator.
Yeah, and I think that really does show that everyone's day is a bit different. It depends sort of like what you're actively trying to participate in. For example, most of my day goes first, I just do some administrative work, which is just making sure that our trackers are up to date, making sure that I checked all my emails and all that. And then I spend some time working on the workshops I am a part of or committees. For example, sometimes I just stay practicing for this session actually. And then after that, I spend most of my time trying to contact students, and that really can vary. Sometimes I do it through email, sometimes I do Zoom sessions, or sometimes it's phone calls, but it sort of varies on what you find works best for you.
Thank you.
Great. So we're going to have a chance for folks on to ask questions that they have about the program and your experiences. But the last thing we had is just, is there anything else that you would like to share about your experience, and what would you say to someone who's thinking about applying to be a peer navigator?
I will actually say one of the things that Dennis, who is one of the peer navigator, who is I won't say peer navigator, but one of the, how is it called, the ADRAP? The
supervisor.
Yeah, he's a counselor.
Oh, the supervisor. Yeah, a counselor. But when I was actually having my interview, I remember really well this, that he told me that peer navigator is more than a program, is a family. And being part of this of the peer navigators, I actually feel that like environment that you're not only sharing your experience to support other students, but you also have a team that is supporting you, which is this family of the peer navigators. And that is one of the things that I like the most from the program.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jaime on that. You know, you meet a lot of great people, not just like, well, starting with your mentees, like so many of them just have like really amazing stories and are amazing people, but also having time to talk to a lot of counselors who have a lot of knowledge about things like transferring or just navigating college. It's knowledge that you also end up like learning just a bit more about like the insider tricks of our school. It's something I've really appreciated in my time here, and also meeting other students who are people that care about helping others, and just meeting people who have like similar interests and similar ways of like trying to help others. I think that's been pretty significant to me. And you also grow a lot. Really, if your shyness goes away by like the second week of being a peer navigator. It may feel intimidating at first, but it totally goes away. You will master it by like your second phone call. You'll feel like a pro.
And you will enjoy it. At the end, that is the thing, you know, like sharing your experience. We're actually talking with another students, trying to help them. And you also meet a lot of great people. So yeah, it's amazing to be honest.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I mean, you definitely provide some really good insight. And, you know, if I wasn't staff here, if I was a student and a lot younger, I would definitely join the program. So thank you. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. Now we would like to ask any of our guests here on the call if they have any questions for us or for our peer navigators. And feel free to unmute yourself or share in the chat, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Don't be shy.
So I have a simple question. So I understand that you can like do up to 10 hours per week. Like is there a specific schedule or is it more like flexible?
No, that's sort of like the best thing about this job is it's flexible. At the beginning of the semester,
Totally
you
flexible.
you send in the hours that you can work in. So you make your own schedule for it. There's sort of like a time range in which we work in, which I believe it's like 9 to 5. So you just have to choose 10 hours from Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
it's pretty flexible around your schedule.
Got it. Thank you.
And I believe Leonard has a question. Leonard, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I have 2 questions actually. The first one, is it strictly for like STEM majors?
No, absolutely not. Actually, we have a lot of peer navigators that are from a different areas of interest. Each of them has like their team based on their areas of interest. For example, Catalina and me, we are STEM majors, but this position is actually open for any area of interest. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah,
thank you. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, sorry about that. Yeah, right now we're currently doing 3 areas of interest, which are STEM, health, and business. But what we're trying to do is for next year, we're going to have like all the areas of interest. So
Yeah.
looking for everyone.
Okay, perfect. And then also I was wondering, if I'm graduating this semester, would I still be able to work as a peer navigator?
So one of our requirements is that you're currently enrolled in 12 units at the time at SMC in order to be a peer navigator. So that depends sort of like on your special situation, but yes, it's one of our requirements.
So
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
to answer your question, yeah, you would have to be enrolled as a student to be a peer navigator or to work on campus in general.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, Noah, you have a question?
Yeah, I had a quick question. I've attended a couple of the Zoom peer navigator meetings, and they've been really helpful. And I've noticed that there's like a pretty broad range of subjects that you can do. Do you just do you list the subjects you've taken before in the past, or is there like a test to like qualify for those subjects? Or like how does that work?
You mean like the special duties that we do?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a completely different program. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of the STEM. I'm so sorry.
No,
No
you're
worries
good. You're
about
good.
that.
You're
You're good.
totally good.
My bad.
That may be a different info session, but yes.
This is a question that somebody asked in the chat, which I think you probably all want to hear the answers to. So the question is, will the positions be remote due to COVID? So these are positions that will be starting to hire. You'll start work this summer. So we have a little ways to go before we figure out what the COVID restrictions are going to be and that sort of thing. But a lot of the work is, through calls and email. And I think the majority of that will stay the same. But Deidre, if you want to chime in.
Absolutely. I mean, so again, for anyone who didn't hear at the beginning, my name is Deidre. I'm the project manager, and essentially, our program follows along with the college in terms of our restrictions. So we've been fully remote for the last couple of years since we started in the fall of 2020. And as long as the college is remote, we will follow the same protocol. If there's more of an on-ground presence in the fall, then there might be more flexibility. But unless the college kind of mandates that we all come back, then we'll have the flexibility to see what works in the fall and in the summer when we start training.
All right.
Oh, hi. Okay, yeah, and there's one more question. I believe it's Few. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started my semester at winter, so I won't finish 24 units at summer. So will I still be eligible to like work?
Let's see, Deidre ruminating on a response here.
It
Yeah.
will be like 21 units, I think. Yeah.
Are you taking classes over the summer as well?
No, I'm not sure.
I mean, how about send us an email? Let me think about that.
Yes, and Daniela just previously left our email there. So if you have questions about whether you're eligible or not, you can always contact us through there.
Yeah, great questions, everyone. Keep them coming if you have questions while we're here.
Can I just make one comment? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to comment on actually what Noah brought up, which was, there's the STEM peer mentors who are tutoring, right? Which is so different from what we do. As peer navigators, there's no tutoring involved, right? You're not responsible for knowing a subject in depth and then trying to teach it to anyone else. You're just responsible, right, for talking about what it's like to be a student and sharing that experience and understanding SMC resources. So it's a totally different ball game, right? So I want to be clear that there's no pressure to like come in as a peer navigator and tutor people, because that's definitely not what we do.
Yeah, and I would like to add on that, even if you think you don't know about SMC resources, that's what we have training for. So Deidre, she gave us like a pretty amazing training before we started the semester. And well, all of our supervisors. Yeah, and she told us all about, and they told us about all of the resources that we will have to share. And even if you think you don't know what to talk about with your mentees, we will give you a guide to just navigate through that at the beginning. So, any other questions? Oh yeah, and we have a website, which Lindsay just dropped in the chat. So if there's if you're still thinking about it, you can always go back to that website and check it out.
Yeah, a website, and also we have an Instagram. So if any question arises or anything, you can reach us through Instagram, through email. And our website is like space in the SMC website that gives more information about the program. So yep, if any other question arises, make sure to contact us.
And our Instagram handle is that one, at SMC Peer Navigators.
If you are on the call now, take a picture or whatever, and so you'll have this handy.
And the application is now live. That's how you say it, right? Say it. All right, so, and I have a question. Until when is our application open, Deidre?
Man, you guys giving me the hard questions. We are trying to reach our goal of 50 peer navigators. So we're keeping it open until we have that number fully hired, right? So I think that because the spring semester, everyone's remote and our position isn't starting for a number of months, we want to give it time. We want to give people time to kind of settle in, see where they're going to be and apply. But with that in mind, don't wait to the last minute, right? If you think this might be an opportunity for you, go ahead and apply now, because once we have our people, we're just going to close it on a whim. There's not going to be any announcements. So it's good to apply now. It's good to reach out to us now and ask us any questions. And, even if you just want to know more about the peer navigators and experience what it's like to like participate in events and things like that, we have a ton of workshops coming up. We have a game night coming up. So tap in with us, right? Follow us on IG and just kind of, come hang out with us, check us out. We have a good time.
All right, thank you for answering that tough question.
All right. So, are there any other questions before we end this Zoom call?
All right, I don't see any questions, so I think,
I have a question.
oh, go ahead.
Go
So
ahead.
after we submit the application, like how long do we have to wait to receive the reply?
Deidra.
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 Yeah. Typically, you'll hear from us. We'll do our first round of review of applications around spring break, right? So spring break is what, April 11? So people will start to hear back right around that time.
Thank you.
For sure.
Right. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, for your time, and we are happy to see that you are interested in the program.
Yeah, thank you all. Yes, please submit your application and hopefully you will hear from us soon. Thank you for being here.
Yes, everyone, thank you so much for
Right.
attending.
Thanks, everyone.